often we are suspicious of emotions and have questioned the validity of an emotional expression in worship. And yet, don't emotions play a big part in your life and mine? I mean, as an adult, I can look back at different times in my life, and the times in my life that seem to be the most memorable are the times that I experienced big emotion. My grandmother's death when I was a young boy. Playing for an undefeated basketball team my junior year in high school. The tragic deaths of a girl I deeply loved, or my mom, or my sister and her son in that plane crash. Our wedding and the birth of our children. And when I celebrate on this Mother's Day the depth of my love for Vanessa, I mean, the list goes on and on. And so if emotions play such an important part in those important events in your life and mine, why would we want to ignore them when it comes to the human experience of expressing our love to God? The people of God in the Bible certainly don't ignore that part of their worship. I mean, look at some of the Psalms, just a few lines from the Psalms. How long must I bear pain in my soul and have sorrow in my heart all day long? Turn to me, be gracious to me, for I'm lonely and afflicted. Weeping may linger through the night, but your joy comes to me in the morning. Or you have turned my mourning, my grief into dancing. You've taken off my sackcloth and clothed me with joy so that my soul may praise you and not be silent. I mean, read through the Psalms and we see profoundly emotional experiences celebrated, both in joy as well as songs of lament. I got to tell you, this is no stiff upper lip stuff here. They are embracing their emotions in this language of worship. In Judges 20, we see the people of God weeping before the Lord for entire days as an act of worship because of the civil war that's going on within their own nation. Do we weep for our nation at times? Or there's Hezekiah and the people of God who have this 7-day joy-filled festival to celebrate the opening of the temple again. And they're having such a great time, they extended another 7 days. And so God is saying in this that loving him and worshiping him with all of our soul means that we don't repress our feelings when we come through these doors. We don't repress our feelings when we meet with him in the quiet places of our home, but we pour those feelings out to him and we worship him even with our emotions. And so if you're sad, come here on a Sunday morning and notice words of comfort throughout the service. If you're lonely, come here on Sunday morning and look for promises of God's presence in the lives of his people who will come alongside you. If you're afraid, focus on expressions of his protection. If you're joyful, connect with us in worship like we did this morning. If you're grateful, express it in thanksgiving. Open our souls to God as we worship him. Open our souls to him. Because it can allow us then to worship him truly and be honest with him about who we are and what's going on in our life and who he is and what he can do within us in those moments of life. And so let's be loving God with all of our soul.